I explained about chemical reactions in my previous video presentations, so let me just explain the formation of our impressions of others through social psychology. And just to clarify that our biases on how we see other people. Because in general, all humans have confirmation biases. That's if you believe something about somebody or anyone, the other information or situation will be encoded along to support that belief. Basically, the energy of your belief about someone else is so strong that no matter what they do, your subconscious, God, universe, situation, or whatever you want to call it, same thing really, will create circumstances that support your assumptions. For an example, if you give an information on somebody, you will not only see them as that, but you will find ways to support your belief. People are biased based on what they assumed for the first time. For an example, if I'm described to you as an intelligent person, you will basically look for the support and set the stage on how you interpret everything else about that belief, just to see me as intelligent. Because in order for the belief to be alive and active, it needs to have a support for its energy in the outside world, as a confirmation that the original, that internal imprint belief, it's actually true. And that impression, belief, has its own extremely powerful energy field that influences your beliefs and the behaviors like no other. Let me give you a recent example from my life. I was supposed to meet a mutual friend, and the day before the meeting, he dialed my number and some rude lady answered the phone. And that was an unpleasant experience for him, because he dialed the wrong number, actually. So he basically called somebody else without knowing it. So I called him the next day to meet, just to receive his cold and distant treatment. But we arranged to meet anyway, in a group setting, along with his Los Angeles friends. But his original formation of the idea of me was that I was rude, basically. And that reflected at the end of the evening when I was asked to give him a ride to Marina Del Rey, and I live in Beverly Hills. So out of nowhere, I blurred out extremely fast, "No, I can't give you the ride." So knowing my character, I always accommodate other people's needs prior to my own. And normally I would even drive him to Canada if needed. But his expectations of me was so strong that he actually influenced my response and involuntary impulse statement, basically leaving me puzzled as why I reacted so impulsively and why that was so out of my character. Then, on my way home, I realized that he suppressed that energy and he didn't clean it up. So no matter what I did, it will result in an already formed perception of me. Because that image of me was already experienced the day before with an energy charge. That's the energy that has not been integrated or neutralized. I already explained how you can clean it up in the other video presentations. And that's the energy that's so potent and strong that no matter what I did, something or someone will come up or will do something impulsive to support his original formation and opinion. Have you ever had an experience where you reacted to someone in a way that was totally out of your character, and then you ask yourself later why you did or say what you'd say? Well, that has nothing to do with you or your personality in general. But in this case, the energy that these people or whoever have about you is so strong, it's being projected into our actions in order to keep their beliefs alive. To simplify it, if I believe that you have specific characteristic, then you will behave in accordance with those characteristic traits. In behavioral psychology, that's known as Pygmalion effect. That's basically when expectations of others predetermine our behaviors. Because, I already said this, because in order for belief to sustain itself, it has to have a huge energy, and this influences our behavior. Or something along the lines that if you behave how you're treated, so we behave how we are treated. If you treat me as a princess, I can only act as one. A great example is a test where actually they told teachers that some randomly chosen children were very smart, chosen by chance. So those children did show the IQ jump in their scores. That is why our expectations of others and even ourselves really matter. the energy charge of your opinion on anyone will predetermine that relationship. And every relationship you ever had in life with anyone else, it's initiated in your head. So you have the power to create and manifest or transform any relationship in your life, in your thoughts first. And that choice is only yours. It's your life. Change your perception of someone in your head on the deepest level, and that someone will change in the real life. Their actions will change. These are cognitive systems that most of the time we're not even aware of. Most of them are on a subconscious level and some are on the surface, but generally we're not paying much attention to it. Bottom line is that most of the time we project our own internal unfinished issues in our own relationships. And every person that you cannot stand or who gets on your nerves, basically it's actually your biggest messenger and a blessing. Since once you realize that everything you like or you don't like about that person, those are your own issues you haven't handled properly. Then instead of focusing on that other person, you can actually focus on yourself and your own issues and fix them. But if you choose to deal with others instead of solving your own issue with them, then the universe, God, subconscious, or whatever you call it, will create circumstances to bring different faces into your life with the same issues. So the same scenarios, same issues, just different people, different faces. And those episodes will last all the way until you solve these issues with yourself, no matter how long that takes. Yesterday I talked to a friend of mine. He basically projected his old suppressed feelings he experienced with his mom at a very early age onto his girlfriend. And I told him, the girl is really not important. She is just a mirror. And no matter which girl comes in his life, as long as he holds on to that emotion and does not remove the energy charge from it, all girls that come into his life will just project the same energy and they will treat him the same way, just in order to keep that expressed feelings alive within himself. These are such a powerful suppressed energies. And these girls, they're just random mirror projections of his deepest frequencies in order to keep alive and active this energy charge of the emotion he suppressed in the past because he didn't want to deal with it in the first place. It was very uncomfortable to deal at the time. These are desires and motivations that govern our behavior that we're not even aware of. Anyway, you can find this continuation of this video on the subconscious programming number 2. But one more thing that crossed my mind is how we judge other people and give ourselves excuse or credit. Like if you do something, I'm going to say stupid, then you will say, oh my God, that was funny, that was cute, that was clumsy. But if somebody else does the same thing, you're going to say, oh my God, what an idiot, or how stupid they are, or you're going to judge them. Basically, we judge others worse than we judge ourselves. We find excuses for ourselves, but for others, we're much more harsh. And we're basically hard on others instead of giving everybody an opportunity to surprise us, because it all comes from within. When every time we talk to somebody else, we're actually just talking to ourselves. Nobody else, just ourselves.